Hi guys, this is Noelle Dodge with Breaking It Down, Bond, Session 4. So welcome back. If you've been following the program, you've been doing the work, then you know that where we're at is a little mind blowing. So right now, so people have been observing themselves. And what we should have uncovered, every single person that I've worked with, which I do have some people online in the comments. And I'm also doing a YouTube video at the same time. So if I'm saying anything, I'm not talking to myself. I actually have people in the comments. So not on YouTube, but on another platform. So yes, go ahead and put your comments in. Yeah, if you don't want your name to be said out loud, because I can't, sometimes I forget. So just put a nickname in or whatever you want to, just, your name and then your comment, and then I'll say it out loud. But I might not say anything out loud, just depends. Okay, anyways, let's get back to this. So, having a bird's eye view, looking and observing yourself. Do you trust yourself? Do others trust you? And do others trust you? Do you trust yourself? And do you trust others? So in this self-observation, most people come to realize that no, they don't trust themselves, and no, they don't trust others, and no, others don't really trust them either. So, or there's a combination. Maybe some people, yeah, people really trust me or whatever. But here's the thing that we come down to: if someone is abusing you, do you trust them? Do you have trust for them? Do you know if you walk past that person, they're going to smack you upside the head when you walk past them? And then they might not. You never know. You just know there's a 50-50 chance if you walk past that person. Are you going to trust walking past that person? Right? So if you are the person smacking yourself upside the head and there's a 50-50 shot that you're going to sabotage yourself, do you trust yourself? Or do you trust yourself to sabotage yourself? Because a lot of times what we do is we trust the thing that is absolutely the opposite. So like for some people, they might be like, oh my gosh, I just want to have children. I don't even care if it's stepchildren. I just want to have a family. I don't need to have my own. I don't care. And here comes this guy who's got adult children and he doesn't want to have any more children. And she's like, I'm okay with that. No, you're not. You're lying to yourself and you're creating a delusional world for him to live in. And he is living and making decisions based on this world that you said this is what you want, but that's not what you want. So you're never going to be satisfied. He's never going to measure up. You're never going to feel good. He's never going to feel good enough. And the same thing happens in reverse. Women go through the exact same thing. The guy's like, yeah, this is totally what I want. I want a family. I want everything. He wants to be single. Guess what? He's going to be single when you're not looking. And he's going to have you convinced you're crazy if you even think that he's doing anything different, because, you know, that's how that's how he keeps his cover. You're crazy. That's the go-to. Every 5 minutes, you're crazy. You even think of it, you're crazy. You're bipolar, you're crazy. You were happy a minute ago, now you're upset. Well, yeah, because I saw a girl's name on your phone. That doesn't make me bipolar. That makes me normal. So, you really have to look at what people are saying to you. Do you trust them? Can you trust them? If they're acting like that, why are you not trusting yourself? You're trusting them more than you're trusting yourself. When they lie to you and you know that they're lying to you and you're like, well, maybe I should go see a therapist. Come on, snap out of it, honey. Let's go. So, trust wound. There's a trust wound in there somewhere, right? Whether you came to the conclusion of like your wound is abandonment, rejection, um, emotional neglect, whatever your wound is, it all comes down to trust versus mistrust. The first 18 months of our lives, we are supposed to have the virtue of hope by establishing trust versus mistrust in our environment. So that has to carry us throughout our lives in all relationships. Within the first 18 months, you establish trust or mistrust within any new relationship. So, if you have a fear of being hurt again, how much trust are you going to establish in that relationship? Because if you have a trust wound, you don't trust yourself, which means, oh my gosh, this person's being good to me, and I know I always pick losers, so I don't even trust myself to pick a good guy, so this guy must be a monster because I don't trust myself. Look for ways not to trust yourself. I'm going to stalk him and, sit outside of her house and park across the park and stare at her house and see if she cheats. That's good waste of your time. When you could be sitting on the porch talking to her and having a cocktail or, just hanging out with her instead of stalking her. So then there's that. Feeling insecure and needing external validation. So, and I don't mean normal questioning, like, he's over there flirting with a girl, and that's not you being insecure. That's no. You being insecure is there is absolutely no reason for you to feel that way, and yet you're snooping through his phone, going through, again, looking for evidence not to trust them, right? Going through their phone, going through their things, looking for ways of how they've betrayed you or broken trust with you. You don't feel safe ever, and you attract people who don't feel safe, and you attract people you don't feel safe around. So these are the ways that the trust wound comes in and keeps reharming us over and over and over. So when you reestablish trust with yourself, you'll recognize in the very beginning with someone, with new people that come into your life, business partners, relationships, jobs, friends, whatever. You learned from the last relationship, or if you learn from the last relationship, if you are hurt by your last relationship and you don't know why, examine why before you go on to your next relationship, or you will be in the next relationship in the same position you're in right now. You will continue to repeat the pattern because you're refusing not to look at where you are breaking trust with yourself. I mean, so how do we turn fear into power? So if you have trust and the fear is someone's going to hurt you and you don't trust yourself or others not to hurt you, you're disempowered. Turning that power into, I know what to look for. I see the signs when people are acting a certain way, or says, I know not to go down that avenue anymore. I know to let that relationship go right now because I know where it's headed, and I know it isn't going to get better. It's going right there. So done. Stop right there. So that is establishing trust with yourself. That is telling yourself, like, that this is not a good path. This is how you reestablish trust with yourself, by picking up the torch and going forward alone if you have to, but not with people that hurt you, not with people that are going to trip you, and not with people who are going to laugh at you and step at your face in the mud, right? So this is how we reestablish trust. This is how we conquer the fear of being hurt, right? You can't be hurt if you trust yourself. You can't be hurt if you don't surround yourself with untrustworthy people. If you can't trust your spouse in a room with your friends, not because of your spouse, but because of your friends, why do you have friends like that? Why would you get rid of a spouse to keep your friends? That seems kind of silly. Because you can never trust them. If you can't trust them with their girl, you can't trust them with your kids. You can't trust them with your money. You can't trust them with your house. You can't trust them with anything. So why would you trust them around your spouse? Now, if you can trust them around your spouse, you have a good friend. You don't get rid of the spouse, you get rid of the friends. So a lot of times in the 20s, that's what's the big argument, People don't want to give up their friends, They've been my friends, my loyal friends. They would never do that to me. In the meantime, you've gone through, 3 girlfriends that your best friend keeps hitting on, right? Well, maybe it's time to not have those friends. If that continues and the best friend's out of the picture, maybe it's time to look at yourself and realize, what is it about you that you keep picking girls that you can't trust around your friends. And maybe your friends need to come back into your circle, So it's all trial and error. And it's a matter of how much do you want to heal? What's hurting you that you want to stop? What relationships are you craving and missing that you want brought back into your life? Those are the areas people don't want to look at because it's too painful. But when you go through it and you get through it, it's done. It's over. It's like a wound on your arm. When it heals, it's a scar. The salt, the lemon, whatever, it doesn't hurt. As long as that wound is open, it's going to burn, right? So we want the burning to stop. So we want to set some boundaries. We want to set some boundaries around how we can keep trust with ourselves, with others, and so that others can trust us. And we do that by establishing boundaries. If you have a front door, why does it have a lock on it? Because you want to keep the people that are inside safe, and you want to keep people who don't belong inside outside. It's nothing personal. The man walking down the street is not insulted that you have locked your door. There's nothing personal about it. It's about protecting your well-being. And sometimes you can't let people into your house. They have not earned the right to come into your house, ransack it, take it of everything that's in it, leave, hand you a bill, and come back and say, "Did you miss me?" No, did not. So when you get to that point where you realize your value and your worth, and you realize just how much you have been investing in people who harm you because you were more committed to hating yourself than loving yourself, well, then of course you're going to surround yourself with people who are abusive, who are nasty, who gaslight you, who, play mind games with you and pretend that they're not, lie to you, knowing they're lying to you, and going, "Oh, honey, oh, come on, no, you're imagining that." If that's what you want to surround yourself with, you're going to keep getting that. So when you start to love yourself and you trust yourself and you know yourself, you can say thanks, but no thanks. And when you start to surround yourself with people who are in awe of what you have to offer, wouldn't dream of blowing you off, wouldn't dream of making you wait, wouldn't dream of making you feel like you're not good enough. They're amazed that you are what you are and who you are, and you're continuing to grow and blossom, and they're just in awe of that. Why would you not want to be around that? Why would you? One of your 5 basic needs is fun. Isn't it fun to be around people who want to have fun? And yes, you're going to have a crisis here and there, and you're going to have a bad day, or you're going to have these, obstacles that come up, unexpected death that, maybe. But if you have joy and you have fun at the root of your day, somebody can be a total jerk to you. Total, unexcusable, cruel, and mean to you, and not disturb your peace. It doesn't mean you're walking around happy and joyous. You might be very quiet and to yourself and not say a word, but inside, you're at peace. No one can disturb it unless you allow it. But that comes from learning how to trust yourself. So when you take hurt and fear, so the fear of being hurt is hurt and fear. Hurt and fear, you take those 2 primary emotions. They are the root cause of anger. So that anger becomes either passive aggressive, resentment, revenge, spite. It becomes this anger that fosters and grows into this hatred. And people start living lives that are not their lives out of jealousy. Oh, this person over there, they have all this wonderful stuff. That's what I want for my life. And then they get it and they're like, "Oh my God, this is miserable. I hate it." Yes, because it brings her joy. It doesn't bring you joy. You don't love it. You don't find joy in it because that's not your calling, that's their calling. You don't say one day, I never want to have children, and then you're dating a guy who's looking for a mother for his children. What? Why are you putting yourself in an arena you know you don't want? Because you're so angry at yourself and so mad at yourself. And instead of doing the work and finding out what the root of the fear and the hurt is, you're presenting yourself in the world hoping somebody will accept you and love you for someone that you're not. You're asking someone to buy your delusional presentation of who you're pretending to be and asking them to love you unconditionally for that. That's madness. That's not even sane, y'all. So, but how many of us do it in different ways? Like everyone does it in different ways. So that's why this work is important. So you could stop being crazy and you could start being you. And then people will love you unconditionally, authentically, recklessly loving you because you are authentically being you. As long as you are being a presentation of yourself, no one's going to ever love you. And you're going to know in the back of your mind that this person doesn't really love you because you're not being who you are. So you're never going to accept love from somebody because you know they're loving your image. They're not loving you. So you're not even going to accept it, which is leading the relationship right down the tubes, right? It's not even going to get anywhere because you're not being true to who you are and what you want. All right, I don't want to go over 20 minutes. I'm trying to keep it under 20 minutes, y'all. Okay, so lesson 5, we're going to go over boundaries. So this week, between now and next week, I know you know what a week is. I'm sorry. Between this week and next week, what you want to do is really hone in and look at your values and your principles. So, what are your values and principles that come up regularly throughout your day and throughout your week? So, if you're like, oh, honesty, I really appreciate when I'm communicating with somebody. Oh, communication. Okay, so honest communication. When I'm getting honest communication, I really feel aligned with people. I really feel connected to them. I really feel joy. Okay, humor. When someone makes light of a situation, laughs at themselves, and we laugh at each other, or we laugh at mistakes, or we laugh at whatever and brings joy into the relationship. I really like that. Okay, that's a value. So we have joy, we have our humor, we have honesty, we have communication, integrity, saying what you mean, meaning what you say, showing up when you say you're going to show up, and go where you say you're going to go. That integrity is another value. So look at those different values of who you're being in the world or who you want to be. Maybe you're like, gosh, every time I want to be that person that says what they mean and mean what they say. And I want to be that person that shows up and does what they say they're going to do. But I always fall short. It's okay. You value that. So put it in your little bucket of values for next week. Bring it with you. It doesn't mean you have to be practicing it on a regular basis. It's something you value and you want in your daily practice. You want in your personal. So if you're not sure what your values are, go online, Google, core values. You'll get a whole slew of words that will help you prompt. The principles are more like family. I live for my family. Okay, so now what are the values around your principle of family? Honesty, trust, humor, things like that. Unconditional love. Whatever the values are that support the foundation of your principle, which is family. So think of your principles, and also if you need some suggestions, Google personal principles of humans, whatever whatever you can think of, just Google it. Principles and values. Get your list together and bring them back next week. We're going to talk about that in how to set and maintain boundaries. And what do boundaries have anything to do with principles and values? If you don't know, you need to watch. All right. Thank you for watching Breaking It Down. And I'm your host, Noelle Dodge. If you need any more information, the information to contact me is in the links below. Okay. Have a great day, guys. Bye.